Hey there, folks. Today I'm going to show you how to mod VOIMA. Now, what I mean is creating mods. The installation guide I'll leave in the link in the description. But first off, you're going to want to locate this PC. Go to the drive that you're using. It should be C drive or wherever all your Steam games go. Okay. Now we're going to go to users, then click on your name, then app data, then roaming, and you'll find the .voima file. Now, I highly recommend right-clicking it and pinning to quick access. So I always have it here on the left. Here we go. So in Carhula, this is the default universe. We're just going to be changing this universe for the sake of showing off the mod. Now, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to rename it. Okay, so I don't really have an idea for this mod. I'm just going in blind, but we can make it, let's say Pokemon themed, right? Great. So there you have it. Everything is the exact same. The name of the universe is Pokemon, and you can see the two universes, the default one and Pokemon right here. Now, real quick, you are able to mod the game from within the game. Basically, if you press tab and you go over to the left side here and you go all the way down to universe editor, you can click various items, slabs. In this case, these are blocks. You can also mod the sky. This is world.text. So this is like anything about the world. So playables, for example, would be the character that you spawn in as. So if I change this to be John and I apply changes, I will be a John. Now it's very buggy playing as a John, so I can't actually load in the game, but that's how it works. If I press escape, you can see that I am a John. So let me explain how this works, right? The worlds folder is where all your worlds go that you create in the game. So we want to add a slab to the game. Let's start off simple. Okay, let's start off with a block. Now all you would need to do is copy it. Cut that. Now all you would need to do is just copy one of the .text files. These are the blocks. And instead of concrete, we'll just have, we'll just make it metal. Okay, metal. And it's going to work exactly like concrete. Now, the way we change the texture is that we're going to need a texture for it to be. So in this case, I'm just going to rip something off of Google Images just for the sake of showing you how to do this. Great, so I have an image. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the folder here. I'm going to get concrete. I'm going to drag it into photo editing software like Krita, and it should open up this one. This is how I prefer to do it. And I'm just going to insert metal texture. There we go. And then I'm going to just go ahead and resize it to, I think that looks good. It kind of looks like the moon for some reason. It's hard to show, metallic on like a flat texture. So there you have it, metal.png and metal.text. Now, if I go in game, there will be a block, a slab called metal. However, it will have the concrete texture because I copied concrete. So you go over to metal, you find the top texture. Instead of concrete, just call it metal. Top, wall, and bottom. That's the top side and the bottom, right? There are so many different settings in this. There are so many different things you can do. But what I like to do is duplicate the file closest to the thing I'm trying to make. So in this case, the closest thing to metal that I can find is concrete. because if I pick stone, there are crafting recipes that there might be a crafting recipe for stone or something. No, I'm not sure, but anyway, that would have been fine too. Um, the point is, right? You copy what's closest to it, because lava.text, for example, is a slab that will hurt you if you touch it. I think, like, I'm just assuming here it's definitely liquid, like water's a fluid, like a fluid. Like here you'll see type fluid. You want it to be solid. Fluid has its own mechanics, and I'm not going to get into that right now. Here we go. Metal and concrete. Not exactly wildly, vastly different, but you added something to the game, right? Now, that's not the only thing you can add. If we go to populate here, we can see there are a plethora of things that we could do. And modders have already done a lot more than just change what's already here or add on to what's already here. But mind you, the only way to mod the game is to change the config files. You can do it inside the game with the universe editor. You can look through all the settings, or you can find the actual file, the actual metal.txt file. And oh, that's a weird glitch. But you can't do anything beyond that. You can't change how the game works. The whole point of the game is to give the player power and freedom. So instead of just throwing a programming language at all of us and saying, hey, make your own game, VOIMA made a game where it's actually easy to change all these things. So a big part of the game is the characters. The characters folder has stuff like the bear, the goober, the haze, the John. Now, if you go into bear, and you go into bear textures, you will find all these folders. And it's very hard to understand exactly what's going on here. If you click on the folder, you will find about 12 items in each one of them. 12 whole files. Okay, I just counted. It's 204 for the death and the walk ones. That's a lot of images to edit. 204. So in the game, there is something you can do. So if you open up VOIMA, you can press tab. Over to the left side here, go to Universe Editor, and go to Printer. Now what this is, it lets you load a model. You can find where that model is yourself. If you have a 3D model, essentially what you can do is you use this to generate all the sprites with it. Now, I've never used this before, but I haven't really gotten into modding characters that many times. Like I've only done it a few times, and I've mostly just edited the textures that are already in the game. Now, if you want to add, let's say a tool, for example, I'm going to hit View, Large Icons, just so you can see what's going on here. I'm going to create a Pokeball, okay? So I'm going to find the closest item to that. I honestly think the honey potion is good. So I'm going to copy the honey potion, make a new folder. I can remove the texture because it doesn't matter. I'm going to change the name to Pokeball. Now to make it not heal you, like the honey, I'm going to remove the damage to self on use. I'm going to remove the heal on use amount. I'm actually going to do damage to self on use so that the item disappears when I right click it. That's all it does. That this damages the item when you right click it. And because it has 20 health, and because it deletes that health to 0, it will delete when I right click it. Now for idle textures, I'm going to put Pokeball. There's not a Pokeball texture. Not yet. Over here I have open the potion texture. we can edit it, but I'm actually going to delete it and keep the same dimensions. I just ripped the texture off of Google Images just for the sake of the demonstration, but this is a Pokeball. Okay, and there we have it. Great. Now I'm going to change the name of this texture to Pokeball so that in here, in the text file, down here where it says idle textures Pokeball, it will refer to it. Great. Now you can see we can place down the Pokeball. I can pick it up. I can hold it. And if I right click it, no, if I left click it, it deletes. Left click is the use button for the hunting potion. And that's really good for something that you don't want to be, if you want to be a consumable, you want to use it. Now, there's no way in game currently to make the Pokeball grab these guys, pick them up, and put them down anywhere. I can make different Pokeballs that spawn in different ones, but I cannot do that right now with the current limitations of the game. If I'm wrong, please contact me because it would be awesome if you could. At any rate, I think there's a lot to look at, and you really just have to play with it yourself. Back up your files, make sure you have everything under control. Don't do anything crazy. Definitely close the game and reopen it every time you make a change so that you can make sure that you're actually seeing the change. But mess with these settings yourself because it's really intuitive and it's not that complicated. All right, folks, that's a wrap. See ya.